All right, we're doing it a little different today. No script, nothing to look at, just me telling you how I feel and holding a mic instead of using a stand because I didn't have time to set one up and I wanted to put out a video this week. Apparently, I didn't have time for sleeves either because I just got back from the gym. So thanks for bearing with me. Today, we're going to talk about hip hop drumming and why your hip hop drumming sounds exaggerated and cheesy and trying to be a cartoon of Chris Dave instead of actually grooving and making people's heads nod. So as you know, people went through a Dilla drumming phase after Chris Dave just blew the whole lid open. But you see a lot of people trying to sound like Chris Dave and end up just being like a cartoon or a caricature of his drumming and calling it Dilla beats. It's overplayed by now. It's been probably like 10 years too long. But if you still want to take away some Dilla-esque things to use for your hip hop drumming that just make it sound a little more swaggy, a little more loose, a little less square, that's what I'm going to show you today. 3 easy things you can do to make your hip hop drumming sound more groovy without sounding like a cartoon. Let's check it out. You're going to start by playing a regular groove, 8th notes on the hi-hat, kick on 1 and of 3, snare on 2 and 4. The first step is you're just going to get a little lazy with your hi-hat on the 8th notes specifically. A lot of people think of this like, oh, it's a quintuplet feel. Just get lazy, get a little swaggy, pretend like you drank a shot of tequila or something like that. Play your hi-hat a little late on the ands, and then match your bass drum up with it on the and of 3. You'll start to get that swung, drunk feel, people call it. It's really just adding some sauce to it. The second step is to add flams between your hands. So you can start by adding flams between the snare drum and the hi-hat. And then you'll notice I also add some flams on the hi-hat itself, just to give it a little of that uneven, decorated feel. So now when you have the lazy hi-hat combined with the flams, you start to see where that drunk sort of thing comes from. Again, don't exaggerate it too much. The key here is nuance, not over exaggeration. The third step is just to add some open hi-hats to beef up the snare drum. Super simple, super straightforward. You're just going to open the hi-hat on beats 2 and 4 and some of the other beats if you want. And the last step, step 4, probably the most complicated, is you're actually going to switch up subdivisions and you're going to mash triplets and 8th notes together. So remember, you're being lazy with your 8th notes. You're playing flams between your hands. You're opening the hi-hat. And now on the 4th step, the last step, you're going to see me add in some triplets on the hi-hat with my left hand while I keep playing 8th notes with my right hand and my kick drum on the and of 3. That takes a lot of coordination and effort, and I actually made a video about that like a year or 2 ago. You can check that out, but I think I'm going to make a new one soon just to make it more clear. So there you have it. 4 easy steps. I might have said 3 earlier, but you got a bonus to make your hip hop beats sound less like a cartoon version of Chris Dave and groove harder. That's a long name for a video, but we're going to roll with it. I'll talk to you soon. Till next time, peace.